There is a strange silence that creeps into the soul of the modern human, not the kind born from solitude or peace, but a deeper kind, almost existential. It doesn't announce itself loudly. It shows up subtly in the middle of the night when you're scrolling aimlessly through your phone, in the quiet moment after a long day where everything was done but nothing felt meaningful. It's the silence that arrives when all the noise fades and you're left alone with yourself, and something feels missing. It's not depression, not quite anxiety, more like a low-grade emptiness, a sense that something essential is gone from life, and no one around you seems to notice or even care. You look around and see a world that moves so fast, so endlessly optimized, so polished and productive. And yet, no one seems to be truly alive. What happened? Why does modern life feel so hollow, so disconnected, so off? We've built a world that runs on convenience, connection, and control. Technology, capitalism, and progress, all the markers of a successful society. But we've also built a world that's abandoned the soul. We traded depth for speed, purpose for productivity, wonder for efficiency. We've become masters of doing and complete strangers to being. The average person spends more hours staring into a screen than into the eyes of another human. Our relationships are fragmented, interrupted by pings and notifications. Our days are scheduled down to the second, but our hearts feel untethered. We know more than ever, but feel less than we used to. This is the price of modernity, a life that appears full on the outside but starves us on the inside. The architecture of our world is no longer designed to nourish the human soul. It's built to extract your attention, your energy, your emotions. Everything is engineered to keep you moving, consuming, comparing, and chasing. We're told to hustle for our worth, perform for approval, monetize our hobbies, and constantly prove that we're not wasting time, even when resting. Self-care has been rebranded as another task on the to-do list, rather than a return to self. Productivity is seen as virtue, stillness is viewed as laziness, and the idea of slowing down, of actually feeling things deeply, rawly, is almost taboo. We're overstimulated but undernourished, constantly connected yet deeply isolated. We have endless entertainment at our fingertips, but less joy. More communication tools, but fewer real conversations. We know more people than ever, but feel known by none. Our social lives have become curated highlight reels, our digital personas more polished than our true selves. We chase likes and hearts and shares, not out of ego, but out of a quiet desperation to be seen, to be validated. Loneliness is no longer just the experience of being physically alone to notice who we truly are. It's the aching gap between your internal world and what you can safely express in the external one. You can be in a room full of people and still feel isolated if your truth has no place there. And increasingly, we live in a world where authenticity is not just rare, it's unsafe. We perform, we present. We protect ourselves with layers of irony, sarcasm, aesthetic perfection. Vulnerability is branded, marketable, not real, and so the soul retreats, the self hides, not because it's weak, but because it no longer sees any place to be received in full. Even our pursuits of purpose have become distorted. We're told to follow our passions, but only if they can be monetized. We're encouraged to do what we love, but only if it can scale, perform, and be branded. Art, music, writing, even spirituality, all repackaged to fit the mold of market value. And in doing so, they lose the very thing that made them sacred. The act of creation used to be an offering to something greater than the self. Now, it's content. Now, it's strategy. And slowly we forget how to do things simply because they fill us, because they awaken something wordless inside of us. And that loss? It echoes through everything. Relationships suffer. Intimacy becomes rare. Deep love, the kind that requires time, sacrifice, silence, and surrender, is replaced by something quicker, safer, more efficient. We match, we swipe, we date in fragments. We're afraid of giving too much, of feeling too much, of needing too much, because we've been trained to believe that vulnerability is weakness. So we end up in half connections, situationships, casual entanglements, emotionally uninvested partnerships that keep us from the real risk of being known. And the cost is that we forget what it means to be held, truly held, by another soul. In the place of community, we have audiences. In the place of intimacy, we have spectatorship. And in the place of belonging, we have endless performance. You begin to wonder if people like you, or just the version of you they see. You start to question if your worth is real, or just a reflection of what you can offer. You begin to feel that the most essential parts of you, the soft parts, the confused parts, the wild parts, have no place to land. So you bury them. You push them down. You show up in ways that are acceptable, predictable, safe. But inside, the emptiness grows. Even spirituality, the one domain that used to ground people in something larger than the self, has become commodified. Meditation apps, Instagram mantras, wellness influencers. It's not that these things are bad, they're just incomplete. True spiritual practice requires a confrontation with the self, not just comfort. It demands that we sit in the quiet, ask hard questions, confront our own mortality, look beyond our personal brand. But modern spirituality is often about feeling good, not becoming whole. It's aesthetic peace, not existential honesty. And so even in our attempts to heal, we bypass the actual wound. So what can we do? How do we live in a world that moves this fast, this shallow, this numb, without losing ourselves completely? First, we must acknowledge the truth. This culture is not designed for your inner life. It will not reward your softness. It will not nourish your soul. It will not give you space to feel, to grieve, to reflect, to grow slowly. That is something you must reclaim. Intentionally, fiercely, and without apology. You must create pockets of slowness. You must protect your attention like it's sacred, because it is. You must choose real conversations over constant communication. You must return to silence. Let it unsettle you, let it reshape you, let it teach you how to listen again. You must allow yourself to feel the emptiness, not escape it. Because the emptiness is not your enemy. It's your inner life trying to get your attention. It's the soul saying, I miss you. Come back. The numbness, the boredom, the restlessness, all of it is a signal. Not that something is wrong with you, but that something is missing from your life. Something you once knew how to access, before the world told you to trade it for validation, applause, status, or success. That something is presence. And presence doesn't live in the algorithm. It lives in the space where nothing is performing, nothing is selling, and nothing is being measured. Begin again. Choose discomfort over distraction. Walk away from things that feel good but leave you feeling worse. Pay attention to what actually nourishes you and do more of it, even if no one sees, even if it doesn't scale. Read long books, write messy pages, sit in the sun without your phone. Let silence stretch, let slowness stretch you. Make art that doesn't make sense. Cry without fixing it, laugh without sharing it. Return to the parts of you that existed before the world taught you to abandon them. There's a self in you, buried beneath years of trying to be what the world wanted, that still remembers how to feel full. And remember, you are not alone. You are not the only one who feels this strange ache. Many are waking up slowly, quietly, and asking the same question. Is this all there is? And if you're asking that question, then you're already on the path back to something real. Because it's not wrong to want more, not more stuff, not more followers, not more performance, but more meaning, more stillness, more truth. And the more you choose that path, the more you give others permission to choose it too. Because in the end, a full life is not a perfect one. It is not curated. It is not efficient. It is not always happy. A full life is one where you are deeply present to the miracle of existing, the joy, the grief, the wonder, the pain, the in-between. A full life doesn't always look good on the outside, but it feels like home on the inside. And that is what we are all trying to return to, whether we know it or not.